Good morning. Welcome to subramani.com. Today I'm going to talk about personal finance ratios. Now, most of you are aware of ratios. When I want to compare two companies of varying sizes, like say Tata Motors and Ashok Leyland, what I do, since I can't compare in absolute terms, I compare it in terms of ratios. So, some of the ratios which are very famous, which very many people use, is the first ratio that I would talk about is called the 5:3:2 ratio or the 50:30:20 ratio. 50% of your earning should go towards meeting your day to day expenses. 30% should go towards your housing expenses, which means it should go towards your EMI or your rent and society charges, etc. Should have a cap of 30, and 20% should get invested. That's broadly the rule. For each person, it could be here or there. So just calculate for you how it is and see whether you're comfortable with that number. Normally in Bombay, I notice that the 30 goes up a little higher because people take much bigger loans than they take in other cities. So Bombay, Delhi are the exceptions. In other cities, that people stick to that 30 norm. So if the husband and wife, both of you are earning it, the 50:30:20 rule should be applicable on both the incomes put together. But it is also possible that you save more than 20%. Anything more than 20% is good. Any saving or investing more than 20% is very good. And expenses actually keep coming down after a particular level. So at when you're earning 10 lakhs, you may be spending 5 lakhs on household expenses, but when your income becomes 20 lakhs, say husband is earning 10 lakhs and wife is earning 20 lakhs, then you don't really spend 10 lakhs on household expenses. But this includes your vacation, everything. So just check out whether you are in that 50:30:20 rule. Another rule which can again vary from person to person is how many months expenses you should keep as liquid money. Liquid money means you keep it in your liquid fund, you keep it in overnight fund, you keep it in the bank deposit or in savings bank account, including some cash at home. How much should it be? It could vary anything from 6x to 12x, which means if your monthly expenses are X, which includes your EMI, does not include your SIP, but includes your term insurance, medical insurance. So what should you do? Total up your expenses, add term insurance, medical insurance and all, which are annual expenses, right? So and divide it by 12. See how much does it come to. Maybe your household expenses are 40,000 a month, but your insurance, etc., add up to another 5,000 a month or another 3,000 a month. So it becomes 43,000. So 43,000 into 6 if you're conservative, 43,000 into 12 if you're aggressive, and 43,000 into 6 if both of you are earning, 43,000 into 12 if only one person is earning, right? So you can tweak around a little bit, but just check out where you are in that ratio. Third ratio is amount of insurance you need. Again, this is a thumb rule which says 10x of your income, which means 10 times your income. Now, if you are too bored and lazy and you don't want to do the calculation, 10x of your income makes sense. However, the correct way to calculate how much insurance you need could be maybe 10x of your expenses or 20x of your expenses, or sit down and calculate whether it will pay off all my loans, whether it will take care of my wife's retirement, whether it will take care of my children's education, right? Sit, calculate all that, provide for inflation and take an insurance. You don't want to do that, 10x is not a bad way. You might be a little over-insured if you take it at an older age, and you might be under-insured if you take it at a younger age. At the age of 22, your income may be low, maybe it is only 4 lakhs. So you will take a 40 lakh insurance. Whereas at the age of 52, if you are checking how much insurance you need and your CTC is already 80 lakhs, you may take a 8 crore insurance, which you may not actually need. So those are the things you need to tweak around. These are broadly the numbers that I am talking about. So let me just check into my book what else, what are the other ratios that I have spoken about so that I don't miss out anything. Yeah, this is again an old ratio. 100 minus age should be the amount that you invest in equities. So if you're 70 years of age, 30% should be in equities. If you're 70 years of age, then 30% should be in equities. If you're 30 years of age, then 70% should be in equities. But here, while you're investing, please make sure that you take all your investments into account, all your savings into account. For example, what the money that you're putting into PF is to be considered as money going into debt instruments. It doesn't, very small portion of that goes into equity. You can ignore that. Even while you're investing in NPS, find out how much is going into debt and how much is going into equity. That's all fine. So make sure that you take care of all that while you arrive at this calculation. It's not a number which I love too much, but yeah, there is some such rule. How much should you save for your retirement? Again, the number can vary anything from 25 to 40 times your annual expenses. So if your monthly expenses, or rather your annual expenses, say at the age of 30 is 5 lakhs a year, so let us assume that every 10 years your expenses will double. So at 40 it will be 10 lakhs, at 50 it will be 20 lakhs, and at 60 it will be 40 lakhs. So 40 lakhs will be your annual expenses at your age of 60. Believe me, this is a thumb rule. This is just a pure calculation assuming inflation of 7%. Your actual figure could be very different. But if you assume that it is 40 lakhs, you have to make some assumption. At 30, you can't guess how much will be your expenses at 60, but you have to make some guess. So you assume it is going to be 40 lakhs. 20x means you need 8 crores. 40x means you need 16 crores. Now don't get scared of that amount. That amount, 16 crores, looks big. However, going forward, you still have another 30 years in which to put it up. You don't require 16 crores today. You need 16 crores after 30 years. So which means you still have a lot of time for compounding, and you may actually reach a figure of something like 14 crores. That could be also great. We don't know. But that's again a rule. 30 times, 20 times, 40 times. You choose what you want and start working towards the number. The advantage is you at least know that the amount that you require is not something very dangerously big, nor is it so small that you can ignore it. So you're just putting a number to it, right? Yeah, I think I'm done with the numbers, and next video I will do how to monitor your retirement, again with a ratio. Thank you. I hope you liked it. Please click on the bell icon and subscribe to the video. Thank you.